So I start my presentations because I know that people learn better when they're laughing. They pay attention more, right? And you learn better. So I have a few jokes. You don't have to laugh at them, okay? But if you do laugh, so I have participation prizes, but you don't have to laugh at them. But if you don't laugh at them, what happens is you get to present after me. So maybe just give a little giggle. So the first one, he says, never ever think outside of the box. Can you see? Mind your way. Good laughing. She says, nice purse, thanks. It's my ex-husband. We'll start it off. The diner says, oh crap, was that today? Thank you. He says, sometimes I feel that I have the worst job in the world. Yeah, right. So we'll get the juices flowing with that. So, so Dave talks about happiness, positive mental attitude. We overlap in many of our teachings. And I'm going to talk to you today about success. So what is success? It's the new buzzword, right? Success. So what is success? Anybody? How would you define success to you? What's success? Steve?
I think success is happiness.
Success is happiness. Success, yes?
Accomplishing a goal that you set for it.
Accomplishing a goal that you've set. Excellent. Dave, what's success? Put you on the spot. Oh. Okay, you took too long. Who else? I only have 20 minutes. Shantae.
Living on purpose.
Living on purpose. Thank you. One of my fellow students. So everybody's right. It's all awesome. Those are awesome answers. So for me, a few years ago, before I started to do this, I associated and linked success with the bank account. I linked success with a job title and with a career. I linked it to things, houses, cars, things, trips. And what I found from doing this personal development work is that my definition of success changed. Because success to me isn't anymore about things, it's about how I feel. It's about getting up in the morning and have that burning desire in your belly to get up and do something, to make a difference. To be excited about something even as mundane as cleaning your house or having coffee with a friend. Living life on purpose, having joy, fulfillment, passion in anything. Now don't get me wrong, I like money and I like to have a good career and share my work with people. We need health, we need recreation, we need fun time. So it's a whole big picture. So to me, success is a whole big picture, working on ourselves every day for constant improvement. And that's what success is for me. Now, success is going to be different for each and every one of you. And my job here tonight, I have two very, very powerful success strategies that are going to help you, if you apply them when you leave, that will help you get more success, more joy, more happiness in any area of your life that you're looking for. Does that sound like a good idea? Would you want to do that? Yes or yes? Yes. Awesome. I don't have enough notepads for everybody. All right. So Winston Churchill says, the price of greatness is responsibility. Who here wants more responsibility? Who wants more responsibility? Not a lot of people, right? But what if I told you that by accepting more responsibility, you could have more joy, more happiness, more success, get to your goals faster? Would that be something that you would be interested in learning more about? Yes. So that's my job here today. So success principle number one, there's only two things I'm going to talk about. This is number one. Success principle number one, and that's why it's number one, is taking 100% responsibility for your life and your results. Whoa, I'm responsible for my life? Yeah. You know what? You have the pen. You write your book. You paint your own drawing. And you are in control of your life, which is great, because that means you can change it. That means you can improve it. Who wants to have an even more amazingly abundant and prosperous life than they do have now? Right? If you don't have your hand up, I think you're in the wrong room. Okay, awesome. So me too, right? So is that true all the time, that we're 100% responsible for everything all the time? Well, I'm not sure. But what I know is that if we act as if we're responsible 100% of the time, we are in power. Okay, we're in control of our life. Plus, what happens is if you act as if you're 100% responsible, you are open and you'll be aware of how you are creating, either consciously or unconsciously, and allowing the things in your life that you don't want. Now, once you're aware of the things that you don't want and how you're allowing and creating them, you can change them and create the things that you do want. Does that make sense? Great. Oops. So I have a story. It's my 100% responsibility story. It's the biggest story that I have, and it's taken me a few years to share this. Sometimes I still get a little choked up. So I'm positive. I'm enthusiastic. I live a great life. I always have had a great attitude. And in 2013, I lost my best friend to cancer. It was awful. She suffered for years. I went through it with her, and she passed away. And I was devastated. I was grieving. I was angry. You know, if you've ever lost anybody, you know all those things that go on. I felt sorry for myself, self-pity. I was in a bad place, right? And I just allowed myself to stay there because, you know, Sally passed away, right? And then I felt guilty because I felt bad, because I should be happy, but I can't be happy because I should feel guilty, right? Because, you know, Sally's kids had no mom. My kids still had a mom. Sally's husband had no wife. I am, and at the time, had a great husband for many years. Sally's mom had lost her only daughter. And I had the privilege of spending quality time every day with my mom, my second best friend. And then the inevitable happened. I lost my mom, very close to when Sally passed away. Why me? What's going on? Strike two. Double anger, double self-pity, feel sorry for myself. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to wallow in this, right? I'm just going to be here. I'm not going to do anything. It became my excuse. And I was teaching this stuff, and I'm like, I get to this point where it's accept 100% responsibility, and I'm teaching that to somebody, and I was like, Jack, I gotcha. I'm not responsible for this. I'm not responsible for cancer. I'm not responsible for stroke. I'm not responsible for this, right? I'm not responsible. I'm off the hook. You're wrong. And this little voice came inside my head, and it was Jack. And he said, but you are responsible for your response. And I was like, dang it, you got me. You got me. And at that point, I decided that I had an amazingly great life to live, and I had a story to share, and that this story would be part of what I would share. And my purpose was to help people, first myself, live to my highest potential and have an amazing life impacting people, and to show other people how to live to their highest potential. So I took that event, I turned it around, and I tell you this not because I want you to think I'm a hero or to feel sorry for me. I tell you this story because life deals us some punches sometimes. And some of them aren't that nice. There's big ones and then there's smaller ones. But when we accept responsibility for our life and what our attitude and our choices, we're in control of our life, and life just goes a whole lot better. Because we always have a choice. You have a choice over your attitude and how you respond, right? There's little things I'm going to show you a formula. I use it every day. And this is a very simple yet very powerful formula. Who thought they were going to do math today with the alphabet, right? So this formula will help you take responsibility for your life and get better results, better outcomes. So E plus R equals O. What does that mean? The E, this is a really touchy little thing here. So the E in the formula stands for the event. It's what's happened. You can't change that. The event already has happened, right? The R is your response to that event, and that together equals the outcome, how you feel, right? So who wants to have better outcomes in situations every day, right? So in this formula, the only thing that you're in control of to have a better outcome is your response. But what happens? What do most people complain about? They complain about the outcome. They complain about being depressed, feeling sad, being broke, being sick, all those things. They complain about the outcome. And what do most people blame? The event, what has happened to them, right? There's no power there, and you're stuck. So let me ask you this. Do you think it's possible that two people could walk through that back door here today and have two totally different experiences in this? Yeah? One person could walk through the door. I don't know anybody. These people look really unfriendly. There's no food. How come there's no food? I'm hungry. The chairs are kind of lumpy. You know, these three presenters up there, who are they? Who are they? Like, what is this stuff anyways, right? I'm just going to watch my phone, make sure at 9 o'clock I'm out of here, right? What do you think that person's outcome or experience is going to be? Negative, probably not that great. What about someone else who walks through the door and says, I don't know anybody. You know what? It's a great opportunity to meet somebody. I don't know who these three people are, but I'm sure if I'm open, surely one of them has something for me that I can take away, surely, right? There's no food. Well, you know what? I should probably lose a few pounds anyways. I never came for the food. I came for the information. What do you think that person's experience is going to be here tonight? Positive. They're going to have a better experience. So what's the difference? It's the same room. It's the same information. It's the same chairs. It's the same lack of food. It's the same people talking. What's the difference in the experience? Their response, their attitude. Exactly. Exactly. So 2 plus 2 equals 4 always. The E plus the R equals the O. So if you want to have a 10, right, instead of a 4, I like to have 10s, you have to change the R of the 2 to an 8. So your response to the event needs to bump up, right, to create the better outcome, the way you feel. That's a self-portrait of Dave I took before we got here. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the key. So another demonstration, okay? So you know what? You're so cute. I love you. I'm going to pick on you. So, Leanne, what if I said to you, out of all the people I've ever met and all the trainings and all the coaching and all the workshops that I've ever done, you have got to be the biggest idiot that I've ever met? How many people here think that would raise Leanne's self-esteem? How many people think it would lower Leanne's self-esteem? How many people think that it doesn't matter what I say to Leanne, but what Leanne says when I stop talking that determines her self-esteem? Yeah, some of you people had your hands up already, but that's okay, because that's the correct answer. It doesn't matter what I say to Leanne. It's her response to what I've said. She's got a choice. She could sit there and say, oh my gosh, she's only known me for 15 minutes and she figured it out, right? She could have that. That's probably not going to be a very positive outcome or a positive result. Or she could say, oh yeah, she picked me, I'm front row, I got big shoulders, I'm extremely good looking. She probably wants me to like co-present with her and, you know, she could have that response. It's probably a whole lot better. So the point of it is it doesn't matter what people say, it's what you say to yourself and your response to what others say and what you say to yourself. That'll get you a good outcome. So taking 100% responsibility, there's 3 things you need to give up. And we love these things. Number 1, blaming. Blaming. Okay? Blaming gives somebody else the responsibility for the results of your internal happiness and external results. So you're giving someone else the control of your internal happiness and your external results by blaming them. You take the responsibility yourself and you're in control of it, not them. Complaining. Anybody here ever complained even this morning? Oh, yeah. Yeah? Complaining. Who likes to be around complainers? Not a lot of people. And you know what else? It just attracts more complainers, right? And the thing about complaining is we usually complain to the wrong person. We complain to our coworkers about our boss. We complain to our husband about our coworkers, right? We complain to people who can't do anything about it. So what we can do is have an adult conversation with somebody who can do something about it, or else stop talking about it, right? Because complaining is just one of those negative things. It brings nothing. And excuses, right? Yeah, but. So turn your I can'ts into I cans. Who ate the brownie? You did. Who spent the money you didn't have? You did. Who went too fast and got a speeding ticket? You did. Right? This is all about taking responsibility and controlling your life, right? It's human nature, but we can give this up too. So Albert Einstein says insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if you want change, we become aware of what we need to change, and then we can change it. So now, you might be a little bit more aware of accepting responsibility and how you can change your response to an event. Anytime you're complaining, making an excuse. If you use but, pretty much that's an excuse. I would have been there, but whatever, right? And whatever comes after that is probably an excuse. So 100% responsibility is a lot. That is a lot. Has anybody here ever started an exercise program or started to train for a marathon or anything? Any athletes or anything? Somebody? Dave, what did you train for? What were you trying to do?
Just a few months ago, I did a 12K Zulu run for solstice.
12K Zulu run for solstice. So did you start out and just do 12K, or did you start at like 1K, 2K, 3K and kind of build up? Yeah. Did he? Okay.
He was sore.
Well, normally,
1 week of training, but you're absolutely right. I built up to it, and
or if you're starting an exercise, like a weightlifting program, you don't start at 100 dumbbells unless you're really strong. You might start at 5. So 100% responsibility sounds like a lot. So what if we broke it down? And what if we just accepted 5% more responsibility for something in our life, an area of our life? What about 5%? The point of it is we may think we're taking 100% responsibility, but there's always room to do more. We all already agreed with Dave's talk that we want to improve ourselves. Well, I don't know if he asked for agreement, but I do. We're continually working ourselves and working towards being better people, improving ourselves in all areas of our life. Agreed? Okay. So what if we were to take 5% more responsibility just in the area of our health and well-being? Health is pretty important. If you don't have health, you're dead, right? So it's kind of something we should focus on. So this is a STEM sentence. If I were to take 5% more responsibility for my health and well-being, I would exercise 4 times a week, 30 minutes each time, every week. If I were to take 5% more responsibility for my health and well-being, I would drink 8 glasses of water every day. If I were to take 5% more responsibility for my health and well-being, I would get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Right? So those are things. I take responsibility for my health, but I could always do more, right? So what I want you to do now is I want you to take this sentence for you, and I want you to just think about it and say, what are 3 things, if I could take 5% more responsibility for my health and my well-being, what could I do? And I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I want you to come up with, we're not going to share it, just with you. 3 things, you can write it down if you want, but just make a mental note. What are 3 things you could do to take more responsibility for your health and well-being? See, I see lots of head nodding. This is good. This is good. What if we took it a step further? What if we took another area of our life? Relationships are quite important. If I were to take 5% more responsibility for the quality of my relationships, I would schedule date night with my husband twice a month and follow through. If I were to take 5% more responsibility for the quality of my relationships, I would pick up the phone and not text my children all the time, although sometimes I don't want to talk to them, but that's okay. I would phone them more phone calls, more interactions. If I were to take 5% more responsibility for the quality of my relationships, I would listen more and talk less. So I encourage you now, take that sentence yourself and find 3 things that you could do to take 5% more responsibility for the quality of your relationships. I'm going to just give you a few seconds to come up with 3 again. We're not going to share them. Head nodding is good when you're done. Cool. So, see, we can always take more responsibility for our life. We can always move towards increasing things and results with our goals and our dreams that we want to have. So I've got a gift here. I've got a great journal, Follow Your Dreams. It's been signed by the 3 presenters here, and you can journal all your dreams and your goals and everything. Who would like this book?
I would.
Who would like this book?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Why'd Leanne get the book? She took action. She took action. Right? So, those of you who didn't get the book, and it was really quick, I was hoping it would last a little longer, but that's good. No. What stopped you from coming up and getting the book? What stopped you from coming up here and getting that book? What other people think of you? Yeah? Anything else?
I wanted it to be fair, and maybe thought.
Yeah.
everyone else gonna
Oh,
have
yeah, someone else deserves it more than you.
Yeah.
Be fair. Someone else can have it.
I have 20 empty journals at home.
You really didn't want it. Yeah?
Did you put up your hand on that?
Pardon me? Shantae counted to 10 because she's been to my workshop, so she was like ready to go. Okay, but I just encourage you, or I invite you, whatever stopped you from coming up and getting this, be it you didn't know what the directions were, fear of looking stupid, fear of not knowing if it was the right thing, let someone else have it because I'm really nice and maybe you are. But just think about, is that something that holds you back in other areas of your life? So on that note, intention without action is just a dream, right? So the next success principle is taking action. So we've talked about taking responsibility. We came up hopefully with 6 things that we could do to take 5% more responsibility. Your call to action item tonight is take one of those things that you thought about in your health and wellness or your relationships and go home and practice it. Put it into practice. It's a very simple way to just start. Martin Luther King Jr. says you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step and then the next step. So that's one step, one action. So wrapping this up, the choice you have always is your response and your attitude. You may not always have great options to choose from, but you still have a choice between A and B. Stay in your job or change your mind about your job. Leave your marriage or change your mind about your marriage. Take action. It's all a choice. Your success depends on you, so everyone else is off the hook. I love that quote. Be happy no matter what anyone else is doing. Practice feeling good no matter what. And before you know it, you will not give anyone else responsibility or control of the way that you feel, because you're not here to be average, you're here to be awesome. So go make your goals and dreams a reality. I'd love to say hi to you at the back of the room when the presentations are over, and thank you so much for having me.